Hello, great people. The president-elect of the United States, Donald Trump, has perfected plans to massively deport migrants, particularly Africans and by extension, Nigerians, a day after his inauguration in office. If you are a migrant in the United States and you are yet to have a paper, or you know a friend that is a migrant in the United States, this is the video for them. Also, if you are intending to study or to travel to the United States, or you have any friends, family, and associate, this is the video that you must watch. And I will be giving you the information on what you should look out for in the days ahead, especially in this presidency of Donald Trump. You will recall that Donald Trump won the United States recently conducted presidential election where he defeated the presidential candidate of the Democratic Party, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is the incumbent vice president, and Trump will be sworn in on January 20th. During the campaign, one of the policies of Trump, which he used to campaign massively during the presidential election campaign, was the issue of migrants. In fact, to Trump almost attributed everything that is wrong with the United States today to illegal migration. To Trump, if anything happens in the United States, it is due to the migration policy of the Joe Biden. And I have said it in some of my past videos that Donald Trump operates and ours is ours policy. Joe Biden operates and ours is yours policy. So the Biden presidency encouraged migrants to be part of the United States, while the Trump presidency, Trump being a white supremacist, is absolutely against migrant, and his team has perfected plans to start deporting Africans. And the operation, according to Wall Street Journal and some other key media in the United States, as it is being reported, will start from three major locations. That is going to be a nationwide something, but their first main target is the Chicago, the New York, and Miami. You see, I need to say something before I continue. For some of you that you cannot read, you don't follow politics and happenings in the polity. Somebody will read, will get information and try to give it to you. Some of you will be misbehaving. Some of you will be cursing yourself. You see, I don't pray that you should listen. But when the migration policy of Trump, when it affects you and you find yourself back in Nnamdi Azikiwe or Muritala International Airport, where Bodabola will be waiting to flog you with his pain, then you will realize that it's always not good to discard information. And some of you that you are already, in Nigeria, and you will see information, you won't want to send it to people that are abroad, information that can benefit them. You only reach out to them for freebies, for giveaway when you have problem. It is when those people remain in that abroad that they can help you. When they are back in Nigeria, I will see the person that you want to cry to for them to help you. Ignorance is not, ignorance is not an excuse. And I can tell you sincerely that Nigerians sometimes could be very ungrateful people, and we have some terrible Nigerians. I can tell you that for free. While we have some very good and vibrant, well-oriented Nigerians. Now, let us continue. You see, this operation, Trump plans that it's going to be massive in Chicago, New York, and Miami. And Trump has appointed somebody that he has put in charge of the border. That is Tom Homan. Within this, Tom Homan has the orientation of Donald Trump. That is the kind of orientation that he has. And I'll read you something in a moment for you to know the plan of Trump and how Trump is taking this thing very, very seriously. Which I read for you now. Tom Homan, Trump's designated border czar, told an event in Chicago that enforcement will start in the city if the mayor. Now, Tom Homan is being quoted here, and I need you to listen to it. He said, if the mayor of Chicago doesn't want to help, he can step aside. Homan was quoted as saying, that means that if the mayor of Chicago doesn't want to help in Trump's plan to arrest illegal migrants, or as they call them, illegal aliens, and deport them back to their country of origin, that he would advise him to step aside. And I want to read Tom Homan's quote further for you to know how serious this thing is. He said, Homan added, but if he obstructs us or knowingly shelters an illegal alien. Now, listen to this very well. If he obstructs, that is, if he hinders their operation or knowingly shelters and that is an illegal alien, I will prosecute him. When they use the word an illegal alien, it means that as little as one, that even if the mayor of Chicago is seen to have, housed an illegal alien, which is one, he will be prosecuted. Now, this signals the policy of Trump that will come later on. If you understand the way government works, for this guy to say so, later the Trump administration can come up with a policy that if you are accommodating anybody or if anybody is living in your particular house, be sure that you at least do some background check to be sure that that person is not staying in the United States illegally. I see Trump coming up with such a policy because from this statement of Tom Homan, which is Trump's border czar, that is the person that Trump has put in charge of border security, or if you like, migration in the United States, this is what he says. So that shows you the mind of the incoming government. And how do you know people that are strong? People that are strong are the people that usually surround the president even before his inauguration. Those are one of the strong people. So, and to say to show you how serious this thing is, you see, I picked it from the mayor of Chicago for a reason. I also want to go to the Prince of Sussex in the Duke of Sussex, rather, Prince Harry, that he has some paper immigration issues in the United States. And he says that Prince Harry may face deportation from the United States following Donald Trump's election victory. It shows that if Trump is to rely on his, the immigration issues that he has, Trump can decide to deport him. To show you how serious it is. So if the incoming administration of Trump can be threatening to prosecute the mayor of Chicago and Prince Harry of UK origin, now tell me, who is all these Middle East people, all these Asians, Africans, and by extension, Nigerians that the Trump administration cannot decide to treat anyhow with deems fit, especially if they are illegal migrants and, as they call them in the United States, illegal aliens. So from what the paper is reporting in the United States, you see, Trump is trying to strategize in such a way that a massive deportation, especially of people of color, will happen. And who are the people of color? The black-skinned people. Those are the people they call the people of color. Black has no hiding place in the sense that it is the unique skin color in the world. Other people, they still have a bit of fair complexion in their skin, and they can still be able to kind of like maneuver their way. But black is black, regardless of the tone of your black. So it is always easy to identify black. And when Trump is sworn in, immediately this thing will start. He has been trying to strategize in such a way that a matching order and a strict profiling order will be given to the security agency. So you need to inform your friends and family in the United States that, in fact, tough days lies ahead in this Trump incoming presidency. What I can say is that I can advise from the bit of experience that I have in terms of international relations and travels and living in diaspora is that in this kind of instance, if you know that your paper has any kind of comma, what you can do, if there's any comma regarding to your paper, what you can do is to keep your money. In the sense that you either keep your money with somebody that you trust in the US, that if anything happens, they can, wire your money to you or something, or the best you can do is to have alternative plans. Is it possible for you to, migrate, or should I call it escape to Canada? The time to do that is now. So you must keep your money and have alternative plan, because if you are deported, you won't have access to anything. From that moment that you are arrested, if you are deemed eligible for deportation, the next thing is you will be detained, and before you know, you find yourself at the airport. Some people are even always being handcuffed to the airport. It is when the plane is about to move, because I've seen that at international airports before. It is when the plane is about to move that the immigration of those countries will now open the lock of those handcuffs. Then they will watch the plane move. That means that person cannot find its way into the country anymore. So in this kind of instance, the little money that you've made, you better keep the money wisely and have alternative plans in such a way that God forbid, if anything happens, you or your friends will not be affected. Because I know I have a lot of thinkers from the United States, and I care a lot about them. My heart goes out to them, and of course their family and their loved ones. I initially didn't want to make this video because of the attitude of Nigerians, because some Nigerians will say, oh, they didn't mention Nigeria. What kind of, what kind of lunacy is that? You expect a country to want to carry out a plan, then he would carry out, he would do it in a stereotype manner and specifically say we are deporting Nigerians. You can see the level of low IQ of some of our people. Sincerely, it could be very terrible. But the thing is that, you see, what I can also say is, if you have plans to go to the US, shelve your US travel plan and study plans to avoid waste of money. Because you see, security agencies across the world, they are like zombies. What Fela Anikulapo calls zombie. You know what? You know that Fela said, zombie no go unless you tell them to go. About turn, right turn, left turn. That is exactly how the security agencies, they work based on the body language of the government. Anything the government wants becomes their aims and objectives. So if the government is hostile towards migrants, you should expect that there will be some strict border check, and the racist among those immigration or custom official can do and undo. So if you don't have any concrete thing to do in the US, I can advise you to shelve your US travel plan and of course your study plan, because when the administration first comes on board, definitely they will be going all out. So you need to look at how things will turn out in the United States. But then the US must realize that the United States cannot stand alone, because the principle of international relations operates on quid pro quo, which is that you do me, I do you. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. You love me, I love you. You hate me, I hate you. You deal with me, I deal with you. That is the principle of international relation, which is, you can also call the law of reciprocity, that whatever you do to me, I can also do to you. So what the US should realize, that the US cannot stand alone, because some of these countries, they have what they are contributing to the United States. And if you decide to go after Africans and Nigerians, even if you don't have many US citizens on the African soil, African government can also decide to go against your business interest in Africa, so that you too, you will feel the pain. So in this modern day of international relations and diplomacy, no nation can stand alone. So Trump needs to think twice before executing some of these what I can call obnoxious policies. And the truth is that no country is righteous in the true sense of it. And US should look inward and see what it is doing wrong before trying to go against the nationals of other countries. No country is righteous. US has an history of exploitation. Like, there's an unfavorable trade terms between the US and other countries in the world, especially some of these Western countries, US, UK, Canada, France, Germany, and all that. So as US, which is a Western nation, are good in exploitation, Africans too, they are unrighteous in the area of migration, because they are migrating, running away from economic hardship. So they are migrating for greener pasture. So you can see that no nation is right. As long as Americans do not migrate illegally to Africa, the US government is not totally righteous in terms of the exploitation of some of these African countries. And if these African countries are not being exploited, some of them would have the resources to take care of their people, and maybe some of this migration would not have happened in the first place. But one also cannot underestimate the role of massive corruption in some of these African countries. What I can say is that anything you do, avoid deportation. And don't take my word for it. Have people that knows about international relations. If they deport you from US, you may find it difficult to go to any other reasonable country, in the sense that this country shares data. The US, the Canada, the UK, the Australia, some of these countries, they share data. So if they deport you in the US, if you go to Canada to want to collect visa, they will see it on their system that you have been deported from the United States, and they won't grant the visa. So do everything you can not to be deported, and may God Almighty protect each and every one of you. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omoshola Deji. Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, catch up with me on Facebook and on TikTok. Till I see you again, always remember that I love you all sincerely.